Hey, what's up everyone, Same Time Gaming here. Welcome back for the Division 2 build video. Well guys, it's been more than 2.5 years since the last time I made a tank video. Yes, a tank build. Like it's just crazy. I never made a tank build in like 2.5 years. However, I have one for you guys today, and this will actually help you do the incursion. If you want to do it flawlessly, you can actually do it flawlessly, honestly. I help my friends with that as well, and it's an absolutely amazing build. You can also take it to the legendary missions if you want, or you can just go out there in the open world, have some directives enabled and go crazy on the control points and stuff, whether you're playing solo or you're playing group. I will give you different variants for that, and also gonna tell you what you need to be using, especially if you're playing in the incursion and in each encounter. So let me just show you the build over here first. So this is the first variant I'm actually using right now. I'll also gonna give you another variant as well with different talent, and also going to talk about like the incursion encounters. If you're interested, you can listen to that, like how to do them, pretty much being a tank basically. And also, I'm going to show you a solo variant as well, because I like being solo, so I'll show you that as well. Now for the specialization, we're using the demolitionist here because mainly two reasons. We get that 20% burn resistance, plus we get that immunity from explosive like every 60 seconds, which is nice. You can actually use technician specialization for the artificial hive. You can also use survivalist specialization for 10% protection from elite, as well as 10% damage to target out of cover, which you can do to status affected target, which is also nice. Like you can provide to your entire group there. Now, so the weapon we're going to be using Scorpio because it's hard to beat. Like it's just too good. Synergizes perfectly with our backpack. But also without that, is just a really, really good weapon. We got a lot of, CC going on with this, and it's just amazing. Now, as for the second, we're using a lefty here, mainly because of the perfect sledgehammer talent. So if you're a healer or whoever's using it forgot to proc it, you could do that. It's nice to have it just in case, Now, as for the gears, well, first of all, you need improvised gear, and you can only get it by crafting them. You can craft them from your crafting bench. You can't find it anywhere. It doesn't drop in open world or anywhere. You have to craft it. And the reason why we need this mainly because of mod slots. You can see we have mod slots here, right? And you want to craft only 3 of them. So you want holster, a knee pad, and you want the gloves here, because obviously mask, chest piece, and the backpack obviously comes with a mod slot. We need the mod slots over here, and that's the specialty of improvised gear. So we get 2 attributes and a mod slot. And the attributes you're looking for pretty much is obviously core attribute is, armor there. And we got armor regen, has protection, and the mod you want is protection from elite. Now, I'm using 12% protection from elite. If you have, 13% protection from elite, then use that. I never found one ever in my life. It doesn't drop for me at all. So yeah, whatever. But if you have that, use that. Now, obviously, we're going to use the same stats pretty much on all our gears, like all 6 of our gears. So you're going to be focusing on armor regen, has protection, and protection from elite mod. So that's pretty much what it is. Now, as for the high ends, well, for the mask, I'm using a Yal gear because that gives us 10% of hazard protection. And we have the same pretty much stats here. And again, the mods, same. For the chest piece, I'm using a Bellstone here because it gives us 1% of armor regen. It's hard to ignore that 1% armor regen, guys. So please don't. Use the Bellstone because anywhere, like use Bellstone anywhere you want, whether it's a mask, backpack, or chest piece. But you want that because that 1% armor regen is very important. And we got Vanguard, talent here because Vanguard is just amazing. Whenever we use our shield, it gives 45% of our armor as a bonus armor to our group members, which is amazing, and it stops them from dying, unless they're stupid. So you could use this talent. Now, you could argue and say, what about Perfect Vanguard? Here's the thing. Perfect Vanguard gives 50% of bonus armor. Vanguard gives us 45%. There's only a 5% difference there, and that's nothing huge, all right? And with the help of Bellstone, we got that 1% armor regen. If you want, you can use, Gilligard for Perfect Vanguard, but I'm going to use Bellstone, and no one can change my mind on that. So I'm going to stay with it. As for the backpack, I'm going to be using the setup here, which gives us, UG, the 5% total armor. And we got the perfectly opportunistic talent here. Now, it's not optimized here. I'm just out of resources right now. But yeah, you want, obviously, hazard protection, armor regen, and protection from elite. And the reason why we want perfectly opportunistic, because every time we fire our Scorpio, we're going to be debuffing the enemies with 15% of amplified damage. They're going to take it from all sources, and our DPS will love this, okay? So when Sledgehammer and this is active, you're melting. You're melting the bosses. Like, it's insane damage, okay? So definitely use this. So that's pretty much more like an aggressive approach here. If I show you my stats with this build, you could see I actually have good armor regen here. I'm trying to hit that 50k, but my armor is not optimized, so I'll get there. Because the more armor you have, the more regen you'll get. And especially if you have expertise, then obviously you're going to hit that 50k easily and beyond that. Like, it's going to be nice. Now for our protection from elite, we have 72%. Because we're not using survivalist. If we use survivalist, this will be like 82, but we don't need that much. If you're using 13% protection from elite mod, then you're probably going to be sitting at around 78%, I believe. And as for hazard protection, we are 80%, and that's nothing bad, guys. Like the 80% hazard protection is really, really good. Like in Incursion, the boss wasn't able to ensnare me for too long. It was like half a second and I was able to run. And it's really good. Like 80% is no joke, guys. You're not going to get any status effect at all applied to you, even if it is going to be like half a second. And we have 100% burn resistance, so you're immune for fire. Like, yeah, it's just too good. So we got that hazard protection going on. We got that protection from elite as well as regen with this build. So it's pretty solid, pretty tanky. And we are providing bonus armor and debuff to target. So really, really good choice here. Now, as for the second variant, we're going to be using this. As you can see, we have the Catharsis mask right now, and the backpack went into the Yal gear. But we still have the, the chest piece, the same Bellstone here with Vanguard on it. So the backpack, again, we have Yal gear here because, again, we need that hazard protection there. And now the talent is galvanized. This is just too much bonus armor. Like with this and Vanguard active, you can't die. Like if your group member dies, you kick them. They're just bad. That's all I can say. Like they can't die, like unless they're super stupid. Like this is so much bonus armor happening at that time. And galvanized doesn't even have a cooldown. It stays for it stays for 10 seconds, and you could just apply it again. Like with your Scorpio, you can proc it. Like you're doing the confuse and shock with your Scorpio, and it's gonna get active. It's just amazing. Now, if you feel like you don't want it and you want to use, let's say, a bulwark shield, like the big shield, with the pistol, then I would say use protector talent, because you're not gonna be able to proc galvanize or opportunistic at that time because you're not using the Scorpio. So you could just use protector talent and provide bonus armor by just taking damage to your shield. So that's obviously an option there. And now the Catharsis mask is actually a really solid choice here because we're gonna get a lot of healing. Like we got the armor regen, but with this we're gonna get the healing, because whenever we take damage, we build up a stack and we increase our weapon damage. Each stack we gain, but when we are full stack, we're gonna get healing. Like the healing is so good, I felt like my healer was healing me with the chem launcher, but I saw he's like somewhere else. So this is a really good choice here for healing. Now, if we use this variant, we're gonna lose 10% of hazard protection here. So we're gonna drop it to like 70 instead of 80 because the mask doesn't come with hazard protection there, but still 70 is really good hazard protection. You're not gonna be ensnared or anything for much than like a second. And burn resistance is 90, so you're pretty much immune for fire anyway. We had the same protection from elite here, as well as the armor regen is pretty similar as well. And not to mention that we're gonna get even more healing on top of this with the help of the Catharsis mask here. So yeah, that's a pretty good choice. And we have a lot of bonus armor going on for our entire group. Now the Galvan is actually going to work for you as well, so you're going to get bonus armor as well. So it's a really, really good choice. Now, as for solo content, if you're just going out there, control points and stuff by yourself, you could just use the setup like the previous variant. And instead of using the Vanguard chest piece, just use something like a Spark Talon on the chest piece. Because I don't feel like you can activate Obliterate with it because we don't have much crits. And Scorpio is slow, so it's not going to proc it quite often. And it's not going to stay for a while, so yeah, that's not an option. We can't use Spotter because, Spotter needs a pulse, and we're not using pulse on Scorpio. We can't. So if you want to use individual pulse, that's all right. But I would say Spark is good because you can use a drone, and the drone will do damage. So that's extra damage there. And, you're going to get more weapon damage on the chest. You could do that. Or you can just go glass cannon if you're crazy enough. So that's also a choice. So yeah, that's that. Now, so the incursion encounters, like the first fight, which is the turrets, you could just use a decoy and throw a decoy and be the second decoy by yourself, because you're not going to take much damage from the turret. Just be there and tank it out, and it'll give enough room for your DPS to just shoot down the weak point. It's pretty simple. Like just rush to the left side or right side, decide where you want to go, just go there, and you're done. Like it's super simple, guys. It really is. Like I can't say how simple it is. As for the second encounter, you could just use a DPS build because we don't really need much tanking over there. But hey, the boss, when it comes out with a minigun, you can just stand in front of him and tank all the minigun shots, so he doesn't hit the tanker. So that time it will be very useful. Now, so the third encounter, which is pretty much the second boss fight, it's actually pretty simple. Like simple is the word I'm going to repeat a lot because trust me, it is actually simple if you know what you're doing. Me and my friends were just laughing and giggling and chatting, and we completed the encounter without even knowing. We actually did it. So what you got to do as a tank is just, take the aggro and just run around with the boss and make sure your DPS are clearing out the ads. Once they're done, take him underneath one of those sprinklers, which you guys decided, and let your healer guy, turn on the valve. And healer should be doing it, not the DPS, because obviously then the boss will target the DPS and then you're going to lose damage. But obviously make sure the DPS is doing it. I mean, sorry, the healer is doing it. Once the healer turn the valve, you got in the DPS phase, this, do all that debuffs and stuff. The sledgehammer, opportunistic and damage the boss. You will take out their armor. Like, seriously, 2 DPS is enough to take his armor out, and you can do that. Like, just once you're done with it, just go out there and turn the valve so you can get the aggro back from the healer, and pretty much rinse and repeat. Like, do this 3 times, and you 3-phase the boss, and it's pretty simple and easy. But yeah, even if you get ensnared, it's going to be for like a second, and you'll be fine. You're healing by yourself. You got the regen, you got that healing going on. If you're using the Catharsis Mask, you'll be perfectly fine. As for the final boss encounter, again, it's simple. Yes, that's the word. It is simple. Just keep it simple. There's nothing complicated in here. All you gotta do is just tank Martinez. Just put her on the one side of the map. Tank her because you got the fire immunity. You're not gonna burn. You'll take the initial damage though, but it's okay. Just play around. Just run around with her and let your guys do the mechanics pretty much. Destroy the drone and stuff and go to the DPS phase, take out Johnson, and then bring Martinez in the middle of the map and just, just keep her within your range. So you got the eye, and the DPS is going to stay far out, and they'll just damage her down and take her out, and you're done. It's over. The incursion is done. As for the sniper turret, honestly, you can tank out the sniper turret, and you can use an EMP sticky bomb to disable it, so your DPS can target that out, and it's nothing crazy. You can tank out the sniper turret as well. It's not a problem. You're not going to die with one shot. As for the mortar barrages, just run and roll dodge. If you can't see the mortar barrage, use colorblind option, I guess. That's what pretty much everybody does. I mean, everybody does in PvP. So yeah, do that. Now, as for the legendary mission, it's going to be a little bit harder because there's red and purple enemies. But don't worry about it. Most of the time, it's like a DPS brain. People always target the red and purple first because they die quickly. So yeah, they will take that out really quickly. You don't have to worry about it. You'll be fine. The Chunga's not going to bleed you. Nobody's going to do anything to you. You're absolutely a mad tank with healing, regen, buffs, debuffs, armor, bonus armor, all that crazy stuff. You're good. It's a good tank build. Try it out. Whether you're playing legendary or playing incursion or you're playing solo, having some fun in the control points, just do that. Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.